What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sharonda, and the topic of this video today is take up space, baby. And before I jump into this topic, I want to jump into a poem called Black Woman from my book, Children, Hair, Love, and Nature, a book of poetry dedicated to growth, love, and patience. Now, this is the old copy of my book. The newest copy of my book is available right now on Amazon. You can get the ebook for $4.44 and the hard copy for $12.34 for like next week. But, you know, prices will be going back up. But, you know, I get that. And I just want to take a minute to talk about my book. Like, I was writing this for about 2 years. And it's a book of poetry, clearly. But I just wanted to put my work out there. And that's why I'm making this video. Just taking up space. Me writing my book is me taking up space. And I was always a good writer. I'll never forget realizing, like, the magnitude of who I was in high school. With writing for real, but just in life in general, it just opened up my mind. It expanded my mind. So I have a lot of honors and AP classes, and people always talk about how hard Miss Jones was. And I had her, I think this was junior year, and the first day of class, we had to write a paper. And I was sleepy as hell, y'all. I swear to God, I was so sleepy. And I did not want to write that motherfucking paper. Okay? But I'm like, I'm just gonna wing that shit. So at the end of the class, of course, she announced who had the best paper. But, you know, it was just to get a feel of how we coming throughout the year or whatever. So I'm not expecting her to say I had the best paper. And, like, she was just raving about my paper. And just to know, like, this is a college-educated woman with multiple degrees who thought I had the best paper. And she's literally raving about my shit. It really just opened my mind up to some shit. And that's why, shit, damn near a decade later, because it's been 10 years since I didn't graduate. Well, this year's shit, really, it's been 10 years since that has happened. That's crazy. But, you know, it just really just made me realize how vast I am. So let's jump into this poem called Black Woman, where I'm just giving y'all a backstory of me writing and shit like that. But anyways, fierce, godlike, God's purpose. Every animal and plant made in our image. God is a woman, and that woman is me. For I am one with the universe as it is one with me. In infinitive reality, I get to create. I get to create my own shit, and I get to pop it too. I don't need nobody telling me what I need to do. How to move, what to wear. Suck my dick, because you can't tell me shit. I get enough heat from this lame-ass world, so I'm going to use all the fuel they try to pit against me to be this hot-ass girl. Real hot girl shit. That's motherfucking me. Embracing my sexiness and channeling my energy. Because in order to be a black woman, you got to have balance. But baby, being a dark-skinned one, it is a challenge. But it's the one I have no choice but to take. These the cards that life dealt me. It is my fate. It is my destiny to be me, the beautiful black-skinned girl who walked with her head held high like she owned the city. That brown-skinned girl that B wrote about. The one turning heads even when it's dark out. It's amazing how you shine in the dark. Because black woman, you are a work of art. So I'm going to end this shit the same way life got to start. Black woman. But yeah, let's just talk about taking up space as a dark-skinned black woman. Hold on, what I say? For baby, being a dark-skinned one, it is a challenge. But it's the one I have no choice to take. These the cards that life dealt me. This is my fate. It is my destiny to be me. You feel me? Like, as a dark-skinned black woman, it's just been so hard. Just trying to exist. Just trying to be myself. And a lot of times you cry out for help and nobody can really tell when you really crying because so many people just see you as masculine. Like, that's just, you know, that's just life. You know, people in general, I'm not even going to just try to make it seem like it's just one person, but just people in general place things in certain boxes and place things in certain categories in order to compartmentalize different things. And we don't even realize how sometimes that can hurt and harm people because we can't treat people like they objects. Like, I got certain, you know, we got certain drawers for certain shit. This is my underwear drawer. This is my panty bra. You know, this is my panty drawer. This you know, this is my pajama drawer. This is my graphic tee drawer. Like, shit like that. But with humans, it's such a different concept because your shirt can only be your shirt. Well, that's debatable. Like with me. But, you know, you can do different things, but you get what I'm saying. Like, some things only serve one purpose. Like, but even with, like, you know, like t-shirts and shit like that, like, it's just only so much that you're able to do with that. But as a human, we are just so vast. There's so many different things about us. Our environments make us who we are. Just different experiences turn us into different things. So it's not really conducive to try to box us in as people, because it doesn't allow us our full autonomy. A question I posed to myself the other day was, how many masks did you create in order to survive? Like, after I had my son, I had to get real about who I am as a woman, because I realized how much of myself I lost trying to fit into society. Like, I'm not even being my full authentic self and loving all of who I am as a woman and as a person, simply because I'm trying to fit in merely to survive. But it's like, at what cost? Like, at some point, I feel like if you really want to have true happiness, if you really want to have true joy within this life, like, you have to be willing to shed those masks, because you had to create that identity to survive. It's not going to be able to follow you and carry you into this next season in your life. And that's where I've been lately. Like, I've been crying a lot of days and a lot of nights these last couple of weeks or so, because we oftentimes talk about the fear of failing, but we don't really talk about the fear of actually making it. And that's been something that has been getting me, because I'm like, you got to put yourself out there. You got to push yourself into this next level of healing, of care, of glory, of wonderfulness, of motherhood, of womanhood. And in some parts you're going to have to leave behind, because you created those parts for you to just survive. And also, with taking up space as a dark-skinned Black woman, like, you do so much to stay in the shadows simply because you know you will be ridiculed for being your authentic self. And you would much rather be able to fit in than to bring that unnecessary attention to you, when it's people who don't even value all of who you are, when the majority of people don't value who you are. And that's why I'm big on going with a love at these days, because I've had enough people try to humble me or try to tell me I'm not who I am, or I don't deserve these things. I want to go around to people who see my light, who see the scared little girl that I am, and try to bring that out, try to hold her hand and try to get her to go to this next level in life, instead of trying to tell me I'm not this, I'm not that, or I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that, or just trying their best to make it seem like I'm just not all of who I am. And we are all vast. That's why I'm saying, like, it's not conducive to try to box us in as humans, because we have so many layers to ourselves. And people are not going to always be where you are mentally. People are not going to always be in the space that you are on your healing journey. And you have to be able to honor that. You have to be able to respect that. And when you are so used to being put down, like, I feel like I'm just coming up out of that energy. When you're so used to being put down, you want to have control over so many different things, so many different people, because it makes you feel good. Hurt people. And for a while, like, I was hurting others with my bullshit, because I just wanted somebody to feel how I felt instead of pushing that love out there. So it was a period of time where I just was not myself. And like I said, after I had my son, it just brought me back down to reality. Like, hey, you can't be hurting people like this. You can't be doing shit like this. Like, you have to make sure that you putting yourself in the position to cultivate the community that you say you want, to cultivate the energy that you say that you are embodying. And also, we get caught up in where we've been, where we feel like we can't come back from a lot of shit. Like, my grandfather, God rest his soul, he left Mississippi at 13 years old, went to war, all type of shit. And I've never seen him be violent, be angry. In the 22, 23 years that I was around him, that I was able to be in his energy, he was stern, he was firm, but he never really had to raise his voice. He never really had to go above and beyond to get his point across. He had a level of peace that I longed for. And to know that I don't undermine the things that I've been through, but I know the things that he's been through is way severe than what I've been through. Like, I ain't been through motherfucking slavery and the capacity that he has, knowing that his mother wasn't far removed from that. I haven't dealt with Jim Crow and the capacity that he has, the war on drugs and the capacity that he has. And that stuff takes a toll on his nervous system. That gets passed down generation through generation. See, a lot of things that we deal with don't even necessarily be our shit. but we go and project it into the world. And it's like, until you get into a space where you just realize these patterns, and that's what, you know, help you propel forward and allow you to take up space, to be yourself, to not worry about stepping on people's toes, and just being able to be yourself, and just realizing that, yeah, being you may not make everybody the happiest. It may not make people excited, but does it make you excited? Is it feeding you? Like, if you're not harming anybody, then you deserve to have that happiness, because feelings ain't facts. Yeah, somebody can hurt your feelings, and you can hurt somebody's feelings, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are actually harming you. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you are harming them. And I feel like it's such a thin line between that, because your feelings are valid. It's not to say that your feelings you deserve to feel how you feel. But I'm in a space where I don't want to put people in the boxes, because like I said, a lot of shit that we be dealing with, it don't really be our fault. And we just be undoing things that have been playing on us for the longest. And that's why I'm like so big on healing and just doing things that make me feel good, because life is already stressful enough. Why am I going to keep putting stress on my nervous system? Like, our bodies are in a perpetual state of shock so much. Like, it's so vast. I'm gonna have to talk about that in another video, because like, that's just something that's just like mind blowing as fuck. But like I said, like, when you just trying to deconstruct all of that, like, all these emotions come to the surface, and it's just like, sometimes you don't be knowing what to do with those feelings. And you have to make space. You have to take up space, baby. You have to take up space. You have to take up space in a way that you can make room for those negative emotions, where you can make room for yourself to not be at your best, so you can come back at your best. Like, just because, you know, you having a moment does not take away from all of what you've done or all of who you are as a person. Like, I was telling myself, like, the only thing I did last year was release my book. But then I went back and realized all the other things that I've accomplished, and I'm just like, baby, you overlooking that shit. Like, you've overlooked so much of the great things that you have done, because you just beating yourself up about things that you cannot change. And it's like, you have to try your best to stay present, to be still, because that's the only way that you can prepare for the future, and the only way that you can fix the past. Like, it's a quote that said, when you heal yourself, you heal the generations that come before you, and you heal the generations that come after you. Like, yeah, trauma does change you, but so does healing. Like, I just told y'all about, like, my grandfather, and just seeing him being so peaceful, and just being all of who he was and all of who he still is to this day, and which is propelling me into this direction of being this woman. Like, my grandfather was a pastor. And it's so crazy, like, I be telling myself, like, sometimes I feel like a pastor in my own right, with the words that I be spitting, like, just to know, like, people value what I say. It means a lot to me, because I don't just be preaching, I be taking my own advice, regardless of what it look like to other people. Like, motherfuckers just don't be knowing what you be going through outside of what they see on social media, or outside of the conversations they have with you. Like, nobody is in my body 24/7 but me, and vice versa. Like I said, that's why I'm just in a space where I just want to let people be them, so I can just be me. When you take your, you take your gloves off, when you wipe your hands of things, and you just allow life to be people teacher, it allows you to just continuously be yourself, receive your blessings, and take yourself up out of that matrix, take yourself up out of that loop. Like, I just had like a download the other day, because I seen this cat, and it just made me think, like, people say cats have 9 lives, and think about the number 8, infinity. Keep going. It ain't even a circle. It's just like, you end up here, you end up here, you end up here, but it's no breaking that shit. 9 come after 8. When you get to 9, you breaking up out of that shell. You breaking up out of that cycle. When you define the odds, you doing shit differently. And that's how I think about cats. Like, that shit that's what say my man be. You feel me? But I be knowing what I be talking about. Like, that's why I'm just trying to get into a space where I'm sharing myself. I'm opening up and just talking, because, like, yeah, I might seem crazy to the average motherfucker, but I'm not the average motherfucker. So it just, it is what the fuck it is. But I'm learning to accept that. I'm learning to embrace all of who I am in my spirituality, my duality, and just who I am as a person, who I am as a woman. Like, I'm just learning to love and embrace me. And that's why I want to emphasize to you all to take up space. Let's breathe. And we call that intentional breathing. So don't forget to take up space to just be yourself. When you start showing up better for yourself, it encourages people to show up better. And if it doesn't encourage them, you see the people that you have to get rid of. You have to love from a distance, love them with the long rod, and just say, there, little one, you know, bon voyage and all that good stuff. But when you start, just like I said, when you just start taking up space, when you just start being unapologetically yourself, it just opens up the floodgates for people who genuinely like themselves as well. And we all got different things that we want to do in this life, different things that we just are. We still be still. Like we are who we are, and who we ain't, we'll never be. Okay. So don't forget to take up space. Don't forget to be yourself. Don't forget to just be you. You deserve that. Honor yourself so you can show up better for others, because community is everything. And self-love is too. You can't have one with the other. It ain't got to be either or. It can be in. All right. I love y'all.